Hello everybody, Kathy Fray here from MotherWise, and I'm going live today with you. I'm producing this little webinar podcast to talk about what you should be knowing to be aware of at around that day, with the week 3 of being postpartum. So around that sort of day 20, 21 after having a baby, and what sort of things should you know about at this stage. And now just a reminder that this is a little mini webinar podcast, and I do have my long full version available on the Essential Basics program, and I'll put the link to that at the bottom of the screen at one of the first comments. So anyway, let's get on to this list for you. And so I've got a few things to get through, so I will get going, and I don't want to miss anything. So firstly, with mum, okay, you should really be at this stage feeling pretty successful with your breastfeeding getting established, and your breasts should be sort of softening, and your nipples should be starting to heal and feel a lot better than they hopefully were. So things should be getting good, and that whole synchronicity of supply and demand, between the mother's supply and the baby's demand, it really does sort of beautifully synchronize, typically at around 4 to 6 weeks. And at that stage, often women think that they have dropped their production, but actually what's happened is that the baby's demand has increased and met that production. So that's absolute. So, but you should, at around 3 weeks, be feeling pretty good about it all. Somebody should have a feel of your tummy and make sure that your womb is now fully involuted and not palpable within your abdomen. It should be all within your pelvic region now. And another thing to be learning about at this stage, if you haven't already, is about expressing breast milk, and knowing sort of the protocol on how long it can be on a bench and that sort of thing. So also a reminder, how long in the fridge, how long in the freezer. Make sure you kind of get yourself a copy of this. I'd suggest my Oh Baby book, because all of that information's in there as well, and of course it goes for the whole year, so there's loads of information in there. Just a reminder of other general things, like make sure if you were due for a cervical pap smear at any stage through your pregnancy, you would want to be probably having that at around 6 weeks postnatally. If you have never had a rubella immunization, if you've never had chickenpox, those are things that you might want to consider getting at this stage while you're still in a fertile stage in your life. Rubella, for example, is not a major disease, but it's devastating if you get it when you're pregnant. So that's the reason that children get immunized for it all around the world, not to protect them, but to protect pregnant women. Other things, if you've had gestational diabetes, then you would need to have a GTT check, usually at around 6 weeks after having your baby. So lots of other sort of bits and pieces there. So make sure somebody is checking with you and make sure that your wellness is okay. And then of course you've got your baby. So somebody at this stage should be doing a detailed neonatal exam on your baby, including its weight, height, head circumference, reflexes, having a look at the umbilical stump and making sure that looks all healthy and is fallen off and is healing beautifully. The baby should have had its hearing screen probably around this time, or at least be booked for its hearing screen. Just making sure that a double check that if you have tuberculosis or it's in your family, that your baby has had the opportunity to have a BCG vaccine. In fact, really making sure that you've been provided with the information that you need around vaccines in general. I know there's a huge amount of controversy out there on it, but I would have to say, in my biased opinion, that my explanation within the Oh Baby book goes into some really good scientific detail on both sides of the information. And that's hard to get, both sides of the information, to be honest. People tend to be either one agenda or the other, and there's a lot of propaganda involved. So that might be a good thing to have a good read of. But you want to feel like you're making informed decisions, and probably particularly for the baby's vaccination against whooping cough, because newborn babies can die of whooping cough. So anyway, I'm not going to tell you here or there whether it's the right or wrong thing for you, but I think it is important to get really good quality information, because there's a lot of rubbish out there on Google. And then the last thing is it's usually very typical around this time that infant sleep issues start to rear their head. And if you're still holding your baby to sleep every single time it goes to sleep, you might be creating quite a rod for your back. But within my book, there is my most popular chapter, the chapter on infant sleep, which I get more fan mail on than any other chapter. And it talks about my 12 golden rules, 12 magical secrets, and 20 do's and don'ts to understanding how to teach your baby to be a really great sleeper. So that would be good things to start to get aware of. And so look, that's everything for today. And I will catch you all next time. All right, everyone, have a lovely rest of your week. Bye.